So about 3 years ago, my kids were just starting high school, and both of them asked me, "Dad, how come we've never heard you cry?" And about 6 months later, we went on holiday up on a mountain. The first night there, had some funny feelings just before we had dinner, and Google was saying, yeah, this seems to be like a heart attack. So luckily Justin was there. He's a good driver. He rushed down the mountain, him and my wife. So they admitted me. Next morning we did some x-rays, some sonar, a CAT scan, and they all said there's nothing wrong with me. Eventually they did the blood test again and realized it was a heart attack, and had to fly me with a helicopter to Pretoria. I think the scariest thing for me was when the head cardiologist told me the possible things that can go wrong during this huge operation of 4 to 6 hours. Yeah, I went in for the double bypass, and it was a huge success. But I went through lots of doubts about the ministry. Do I still want to do this? Went through periods where I was angry with God, and then after a year of recovery and getting back into things, the renters asked us to move a region from the east of Johannesburg to the west side. I fell and actually had a bit of an injury on my hip for a couple of months. One day I couldn't even walk anymore. I was crawling from the pain, and so my wife took me to the doctor. They did an MRI scan and admitted me, did a biopsy, and found I have plasmacytoma, which is a form of cancer.
Finding out that Ivor had cancer after the heart attack, the double bypass, the move here, and the emotional time it's been for the family, it was very overwhelming. I came home that night and I just cried and cried and cried, and I thought, okay, this is new, what do we do now?
So many times where I just cried the whole day. So in 2.5 years, I've definitely cried more than 49 years of my life. And so as the psalm talks about, that God actually collects all our tears in a bottle, I think mine was pretty much empty when all this started, and was quickly filled up by all the tears I've shed. Just after we moved regions, my kids by that time had each studied the Bible with different people, about 2 or 3 times, just never connected with God. And it was only after the heart attack and seeing me cry and how we responded to all of this that they finally both became Christians in the same year. I would have another heart attack for my third child if that's what it's going to take for him to become a Christian. In the meantime, my son was appointed head boy of the new school, and that has now opened tremendous doors for him to reach out to people, to friends, to study the Bible and become Christians.
And I think the other thing that I've really learned through all of this is just how incredibly valuable the kingdom is. The friendships, the relationships we have. Not one time did I have to feel uncomfortable to ask anybody, because everybody just did it. People brought meals, they loved us, they supported our family.
I've learned that God is not done with me. That even though God has done great things in the last 20 or 30 years, I believe God has, our best days are ahead of us.
Amen.
God wants to use us until we die one day. And God can do greater things than we can even ask or imagine.